So one very useful tip is to identify what they are: protagonist, antagonist, antagonist ally or protagonist ally, or romance, and then identify what their inner motivation, inner conflict, and their outer conflict is whatever. Whoa. Before you create that character, you've got to know why your character exists to begin with. Yeah, they exist to serve the structural needs of your story, okay? Screenplays aren't successful because they're complicated and confusing. They're successful because the unique nature of the specific characters, desires, and conflicts are emotionally compelling. So let me just start off by saying you're going to know a lot of these different things that I'm talking about in this video. But if you stick around till the end, you may find out something new, so you should stay tuned. Okay, so there are only 4 to 5 categories of primary characters, and 3 of those character categories are just derivatives of the first 2. Can anyone guess what they are? Anyone? First, we have protagonist, or hero, protagonist ally, or hero's reflection, antagonist, or nemesis, antagonist ally, or nemesis reflection, romance, or hero's love. Hello everybody, Alan Northern here, giving you filmmaking tips and tricks, and by the end of this video, you're going to know how characters function to serve your story. But if you'd like to learn how to use characters to elicit emotions in your audience, you should watch this video on how to make your audience feel. In this video, you'll learn how characters function in order to serve your story. I'll also be giving you the tools to build a solid foundation for their characterization. Are you excited? Please give this video a like. Please give it a like, I beg of you. It helps with the algorithm. Please, and you can always change your like to a dislike if it sucks, so nothing lost, nothing gained. Anyway, so let's get started with our hero. This is our main character. Gets most of the screen time. This hero's outer motivation drives the plot forward. Nemesis. Like all primary characters, the nemesis has an outer motivation, an outer conflict, an inner motivation, and an inner conflict. So we'll talk about those later. One thing that makes the nemesis unique is that he or she is this force of nature that stands in the way of your hero achieving his goal. The stronger and more formidable your antagonist, the more effective your story. Hero's reflection. This is a character that supports your hero's outer motivation. This person can be a friend, mentor, sidekick, trainer, coworker, spouse, lover, or any other person who supports your hero's outer motivation. Nemesis reflection. This is a character that supports the nemesis's outer motivation. And we have our romance. This is a sexual or romantic object of a part of a hero's outer motivation. This person may or may not exist in your screenplay. So we're going to talk about charting character. What is charting character? Well, first we have to know what these 4 things are: inner motivation, inner conflict, and outer conflict. Outer motivation is a term used to describe what a character wants to achieve by the end of the film or the TV episode you're watching. So this visible destination, or this outer motivation, is the single most important element in your screenplay. So that is why it is extremely important for it to be clearly defined. Doesn't matter if he achieves it or not, just clearly define it so that it's clear when you're writing it, so it's clear what that character wants in every single scene, in every single location he's at, he's thinking about it, it's on his mind, it's on his heart. So no matter how many locations the characters move through, the audience already knows where the character wants to go. This answers the question, what does my main character want by the end of the film? Could be a person, place, thing, or desire. So the inner motivation answers the question, why does the character want that? So why does the character want that outer motivation? So your answer is always going to be related to your main character gaining a greater sense of self-worth. Inner motivation is the path the character thinks will allow him to feel better about himself. Since this level of motivation is inside the character and is invisible, it's going to be revealed through dialogue. To bring this point home, let's take a look at a little chart in Writing Screenplays That Sell by Michael Haig. This is outer motivation and inner motivation and the qualities that both of them possess. Key things to note about outer motivation is that it's visible and it's revealed through action, and it answers the question, what does this character want to do? And it's related to plot. Inner motivation, the key things about this is that it's invisible and it's related to self-worth. It's revealed through dialogue, and it answers the question, why does he want to do that? And this inner motivation is related to character growth and theme. Outer conflict is whatever stands in the way of a character achieving his goal. So remember, emotion grows out of conflict. So this is essential when getting your audience to feel for your characters. Again, for more on that, watch this video. Inner conflict is whatever stands in the way of a character achieving real self-worth as he pursues his inner motivation. Until the character can overcome his inner conflict, the character will never achieve real feelings of self-worth. And in great screenplays, he will not achieve his outer motivation until he overcomes his inner conflict and comes up with a solution. But this can also be very tricky because this involves a character to change a core part of his being. That's a part of where the word character arc comes from. So one very useful tip is to identify what they are: protagonist, antagonist ally, or protagonist ally, or romance, and then identify what their inner motivation, outer motivation, inner conflict, and their outer conflict is whatever. Still confused? Let's take a look at Aladdin. He's our hero. His outer motivation is to acquire the lamp to achieve wealth so that he can win Jasmine's love. His inner motivation is to overcome feeling like he's a lowly street rat. His outer conflict, one word, Jafar. His inner conflict, the real internal conflict that he's having, is that he's afraid that just because he is a street rat, that he isn't worthy of Jasmine's love. He's afraid that he's too poor and lowly to present himself as he is, minus artificial wealth and stature. The shadow of him being this street rat. One important thing to note is that Aladdin is an excellent film, and in all excellent films, what happens? The hero overcomes his inner conflict first, before he can actually achieve his outer motivation. So before he's able to rescue Jasmine from Jafar, he has to overcome his inner conflict first. Overcoming his insecurity of feeling like a street rat and coming to terms with who he is essential to Aladdin's character arc. Your self-worth isn't determined by your stature or wealth, but it's determined by the quality of your character. He completes his character arc because he views what he is, street rat, as a strength instead of a weakness. So charting your character should give you a lot more clarity when you're writing your story. If you're interested in learning more, please check out all of my other videos on my channel. There are many. They're cool because I'm cool. I'm a cool guy. If you're interested in checking out my feature-length miniseries on Amazon Prime, it's free. Check it out right now. I'll post a link to that below. If you're interested in getting the camera that I shot this video on, I'll post a link to it below. Please be sure to comment, subscribe, like, share, and hit that notification bell to be notified of future videos. And I'll talk to you next time. Thanks. See ya.